Hello and welcome to Runaway with Liz. That's me, I'm Liz, and this is my husband Tony. Tony and I traveled to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. And in today's video, I want to share with you what I believe are the top 5 attractions in the Universal Studios theme park that you should not skip. Universal Studios is one of 2 theme parks at Universal Studios Orlando, the other park being Islands of Adventure. A couple of caveats in this video. For one, this ranking does not include any of the Harry Potter attractions. I think the Wizarding World deserves its own video. This ranking also doesn't include 2 attractions that we didn't experience: Despicable Me Minion Mayhem and Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket Roller Coaster. Final call for the Minions ride.
It's a long wait.
Is that going to be our final ride?
Wouldn't be the worst thing, maybe. I haven't ridden it, so I don't know. I'm not as anti-Minion ride as you, I don't think. Oh, it's down to 25 minutes, Liz.
Oh my gosh, you called my bluff.
I don't think I actually want to do it either.
And this ranking reflects only my opinion of top rides. My list and Tony's list actually look different from each other. That being said, many of the same rides do appear on both of our lists. So let's get to it with number 5, Men in Black Alien Attack. It was a toss-up between Transformers and Men in Black Alien Attack, but Men in Black just barely edges out Transformers for me, mainly because of the queue and the practical effects. Men in Black is a shooting ride, which I'm not really a fan of, so at some point during this ride, I just stopped shooting at the alien targets to look at things. But at Universal, there are so many screen-reliant rides that it was fun to look at the practical effects in Men in Black. Plus, the queue is great, taking you through the Men in Black headquarters. The only thing I had issue with is that I had eaten shortly before it, and the ride spins you around so much that it made me feel pretty queasy. But overall, I would call this a great looking ride with a fun narrative. And moving on to number 4 on our list, for me, that is E.T. Adventure. While certain parts of the narrative of the E.T. ride were confusing and frankly a little disturbing, if you've ridden it, I think you know what particular animatronic I'm talking about.
There's a smell to this traffic.
I found it very refreshing at Universal. For one, I had just watched the movie E.T. on the plane ride over, so components of the ride were very fresh for me. And it's also one of the rare slow, dark rides at Universal parks, and it's nice to not have to wonder if you shouldn't eat so soon before riding a ride. It's also a historic ride at Universal.
One of the 2 remaining original attractions. Can you guess the second? Sound off in the comments, but don't look it up. Guess.
He is just walking over to us. You're making very good points. Number 3 on this list is Animal Actors on Location. A show all about trained animals who act in the movies. What is not to love? A couple of the tricks are the same ones that you find at Disney Animal Kingdom's Feathered Friends in Flight, but Animal Actors has been around much longer than Feathered Friends in Flight and the earlier editions, the Up, A Great Bird Adventure, or Flights of Wonder. So if you're wondering who copied who, well, I don't really care, because who's complaining about seeing animals being smart and cute? I actually can't remember what animals are in the Hunger Games, but I'm gonna guess an African crowned crane. That's a big bird. A vulture. I feel like I'm uncomfortable with the texture of the troll. Like, yeah, like when it bounces, I feel like it's got like a tension. Getting up there to number 2, Universal Orlando's horror makeup show. Like Animal Actors, this is a show, not a ride. The show pulls volunteers from the audience to demonstrate horror movie effects. Although volunteers isn't strictly the right word to use, it feels more like a roast at times. Apparently, during the pandemic, they started using audience plants as volunteers, but now they are back to pulling real audience members. During our show, they only pulled people from the first row, and I wondered if people with Express Pass were seated in the first row to pull volunteers from, and if you're not into being razzed in front of a crowd, maybe skipping the express lane would be a good idea for this particular attraction. Let me know in the comments if you know if this is how it works or if they actually pull volunteers from all over the audience, not just the first row.
Do you think this means that they're out and about somewhere?
Okay, my number one do not skip attraction at Universal Studios is, drumroll please, obviously is Revenge of the Mummy. There could be no other. I love this coaster. It's both a thrill ride with a couple of fun tricks up its sleeve, and it has a very fun narrative to it. Well, some people might call it fun, some people might call it dark. I think it's like a dark funny, you know?
Wow, can't believe Brendan Fraser at the end of the ride.
Spoiler alert.
It is important, though, that you watch the video in the queue because otherwise you will be very confused about the storyline. I personally found the mockumentary video in the queue very funny. Maybe the reason this ride is so good is because the movie is one of the most perfect movies ever. It's so perfect, Disney tried to rip off the entire storyline almost with Jungle Cruise. A competent female scholar type with her fancy lad brother hire a handsome scoundrel to be their guide on an exotic adventure only to discover that actually the curse is real?
And my brother and I are looking for passage upriver, and I'm told that you are the man for the job.
You were told wrong.
We both found your puzzle box, and we've come to ask you about it.
No.
But of course, you can copy the story.
The mess is real.
But you can't copy Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz's chemistry.
There are other places to dig.
Yeah, there are. And there is actually an animatronic of Imhotep that was not part of the ride when we were there. Maybe it was temporarily removed for maintenance, I don't know. But even without it, Tony and I loved this ride. Tony's list was very similar to mine, with Revenge of the Mummy at number 1, E.T. Adventure at number 2, Animal Actors at number 3, and The Horror Makeup Show at number 4. At number 5, though, he deviates, ranking Transformers at number 5. But if it would have qualified as an attraction for this list, he would have rated The Simpsons Food Court at number 5. And I do agree that the Simpsons area is very fun, but the Simpsons ride, now that's for another video. Thank you so much for watching. Tony and I had a blast exploring Universal Studios, and we can't wait to share more of our trip with you. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Take care, everyone, and see you next time. Bye. I'm glad you guys feel comfortable by us.